Hey everybody, welcome to our live on YouTube and Facebook today. This week, Selena of Howley Socially Inspired and Anna of Nomad About host Elizabeth Randle of Paperwell. Today we are discussing first impressions. Do you put forth a great first impression, and is it memorable in who you are and the way you package your products? Ta-da!
Hi everyone, welcome to what felt too short of a weekend, right?
I can't believe it's Monday again already.
I know. I feel like we should be able to have like 2 weekends in a row, one right after the other, and then
I
go
know.
Monday forward.
For sure, for sure. If you haven't kept up with Anna and I, this weekend we went live just because last night after we did a little branding sesh, um, we had like lashes for days. I'm still trying to scrub it off this morning, and I did scrub I don't know. I'm still scrubbing it off right now, apparently, but I tried. I do anyway. Yeah.
It was pretty awesome though. I mean, we got our makeup done and our hair's done, and then we took like outfit changes type of branding photos. It was
I don't know what we thought we were.
I'm all like rock star.
We did. We had it laid across, like all on. We had it laid across Anna's. What do you call it?
Couch, like a couch.
Oh God, yeah.
Our coordinating outfits.
We were like, "What are you gonna wear? What are you gonna wear? What are you gonna wear?"
It was super fun though.
Yeah, no, I want to just send out another big aloha to my girl Lisa from last week. I think we had so much fun with her, and we were just talking to Elizabeth backstage about customer service. So I mean, it's just kind of, yeah. So it was great to have her on, and something Elizabeth said is just kind of like, if you have better service, like she's not going to do what she says she does. You know what I mean? But yeah. I'm just, Lisa, thank you. Much aloha.
Yeah, I think the conversation was really good. I think people forget the importance of refreshing your customer service, like just your mindset every once in a while. Or they think, oh, we got that down. We're totally good. But I really think that sometimes you have to like take a pause and ask yourself, do we really have that down? Checking out your reviews, seeing if there are any negatives, like what is it people are saying? Because you can always improve, right? Always improve.
So absolutely.
It was fun. And then we had another amazing experience this last week. You guys all know that we are huge fans of the Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs, AMC. And so they had their big 1-year birthday, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
First impressions, right, Selena?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's funny. Anna and I did the very same thing, which was we're so busy. We logged on to this thing literally seconds before it started. And then we had to learn about what we needed to do.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it was pretty awesome, actually.
It was like it's called Remo, and it's an actual conference floor that you see with tables, and you can jump from table to table and video chat. Hi,
right.
Yeah, anyway.
Good morning.
Super cool. Super cool. But happy birthday, AMC. We're so happy to be part of your team.
We are. Okay, we are moving a little slow this week in the sense of like this week. The rest of this year, probably. Like
it's just Selena. I'm gonna push it. Just kidding.
All right, I know we talked about this. We said whatever I do, you do, and whatever you do, I do. Just kidding. We're ridiculous.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're ridiculous.
So our guest today, we're super excited about. Okay,
yes.
So today our guest is going to be Elizabeth Randle with Paperwell. Yep. We're going to read her bio. I know Elizabeth I've known her for years and just love this woman. She's amazing. So, okay. So Elizabeth was born and raised in Eastern Washington. Beth Randle has had to hustle from an early age. She first dipped her toes into the entrepreneurial waters at the age of 9, selling wrapping paper and cards door to door. As she grew older, she was determined to make her own unique mark in the world. Beth attended Columbia College in Chicago and earned a business degree with an emphasis in arts management. She returned to her hometown after graduating, where she owned and operated a retail boutique for several years. After a 15-year hiatus from retail, Beth set out to open a new shop at the end of 2019. She is the owner and curator of Paper Whale, a modern stationery store, and continues to have many side hustles. So let's get in.
Yes.
I'm here.
Hello. We're ridiculous, right?
Yay.
Welcome to the show. I think because we're so excited to dive in, we want to just get our coffee cup selfie with you out of the way because we love doing our coffee cup selfie.
Yes.
Elizabeth has like a really cool cup. Actually, I meant to ask you more about it, but I don't know. I'm liking that one.
This is like a hot thing on TikTok right now. So my friend bought it and shared it because that's what all the TikTok models use. I'm just very extra. So there you go.
I love it. So we'll have to ask you more about it after. Or maybe Elizabeth will share more about that if you are all TikTok lovers, because I know I am, and I'm so glad that Elizabeth is. So anyway, let's do our coffee cup selfie, shall we? On 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. How are you, Elizabeth? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. I mean, it's Monday morning, so I'm as perky and as alert as you're going to find me. So there you go. But everything's great.
Can you share? Elizabeth makes me. She is funny, and we were backstage and talking about how. Can you tell everybody how it was getting ready this morning for you? Like,
oh, it was shocking. It was shocking because I was like, you know what? I might want to do a little bit of glam today, and so I literally had to dig my makeup out and like I just laid it all out on my table. I was like, what do I do again? And so it was like a whole ordeal. And then it's like I was trying to curl my hair and do stuff, and my body was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is not who you are anymore. Like, where are the yoga pants? Where's your sweatshirt? Where's the bun? So
what working from home does to you, right?
Oh, it's awful. Yeah, I've like literally forgotten how to human, but it's fine.
Do you see what I mean, everybody? Okay, if everybody can agree and like if they're feeling the way Elizabeth is feeling, yes, like but you look gorgeous this morning, so thank you for doing all the extra stuff. So
I try.
Yes, guys, see, we're gonna be in for a really good show. Like I don't know what happened, but apparently I have like a pseudo faux hawk going on just because we talked about it. I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Nobody cares. Well, I mean, they might talk about it afterwards. They're like, "Oh, look at his hair."
No,
I do not want to be the next like meme. I just don't. Like that's my fear. Do you know what I mean? Like. I just don't. All right. Okay. Shall we bring up? So what we do is we like to start our show with from our mental health barista. Is a question for. I'm going to switch you, Elizabeth. So your face is going to move to where I am, and we're going to pop in this question from Lauren. Go ahead, Anna.
All right. So our mental health question of the day is, what makes you feel most truly yourself in the work you do? And how do you maintain a connection with yourself as a professional? They're kind of like one and the same. But how would you answer that, Beth?
You know, for me, it's just staying authentic to who you are. It's really easy to get caught up in like, what is this person doing? And what does their Instagram look like? And what filter are they using? And maybe I should do that. And anytime I've gone down that road, I just feel less and less, again, back to authenticity. There we go. It's just, I think that's the biggest thing is that you have to stay true to who you are, your vision for your business, and just like own it. Because I think as soon as you get off that path, it's really, you can get disconnected and it becomes a burden instead of this blessing.
Oh, so I love what you just said. It becomes a burden instead of a blessing. And when you start to feel that like anxiety over, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, it means something you're not doing something right.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. Because every day I wake up and I want to do my business. Like I want to like be in the trenches for 8 hours, editing pictures that nobody's going to care about, but I do, so I think it's just really important.
There is some fatigue though that can come with that, right? But it's like a good fatigue. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, I'm tired and I want a cupcake, but I'm going to push through.
But can you have the cupcake and push through at the same time? Right? You
Absolutely.
could.
That's what keeps you going. Like, give me that sugar.
Right. No. Oh my God. I love that you said that. Like that's
well, it's like the
yeah.
answer, right? Because it's all about remaining authentic to yourself, and that really is the way you would stay connected. Like, a lot of times I think you start to think, oh, what does my customer want, as opposed to what do I want to provide, and then the ideal client will come to you instead of you trying to race after the customers that maybe aren't truly your ideal client, right?
Absolutely. I did that early in one of my first business. I had a retail business. It was like this little cute boutique called Ooh La La. I was 23, didn't know what I was doing, right out of college. Not the best time to open a business, but I was just in it. And so as my customer base grew and it got more diverse, I kind of strayed away from like what my vision for the store was. And so I started bringing in products that weren't really in line with like how I wanted to do things. It's like, oh, this company's going to give me terms and I need more products. I'm just going to get it. And then I ended up with all of this stuff that I'm like, this is not what this business was for. It just took away. And so again, you have to just stay true to like your vision, or I just think horrible things can happen.
No, you're so right. I mean, I didn't open a business, but I remember when I got back into blogging. I loved to write in my conversational way, and then there was all this promotion that you needed to do with like promoting your stuff, and it went from being like very authentic to, okay, I have to force myself to be. They do stuff like this on Mondays. They do stuff like this, and then it's just what you said. I just kind of didn't. I wasn't happy. And I wasn't doing, why I started it, it like kind of flew out the door, and it's not what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But I totally agree with you on that. It just, if you don't stay authentic to yourself,
well, and I think
the ride is going to be short.
Yeah. And I think it's one of the reasons why re-examining even like annually the direction your business is going. Are you still offering the services or products that you truly want to offer? What do you dread about your going to work every day? And seeing if there's something you can change about that one thing that will improve your experience. I mean, there's
absolutely.
Anyway, so many good options. Wait, wow. Answer, Beth. Great start.
Yeah.
We're on top of it this morning.
Yeah, we are. We've only started.
Let's solve all the world problems today.
Yes. People, we are going to solve it in the next 45 minutes.
I know. I'm going to solve one problem. I'm going to jump in and tell everybody what today's topic is, and then we're going to go into our toolkit. So today's topic is first impressions. Oh, not packing your product. Look, that is totally.
Oh, it's packing.
I'm going to change that right now because
no, this is me. This is me. Pack your product. You can, right, Elizabeth? You could pack your product. I mean, right?
Part of it is packing your product. It is. What is the customer going to open? When they get that gift on their doorstep.
Wrong. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to share that anymore.
No,
I'm not even kidding you. Today,
hello, first impressions. Here we are.
First impressions, packaging your product. And it's not really, it's going to be a combination of actual packaging for your product, but also really about like you as an entrepreneur and that first impression you make to your customer base. So I'm super excited about it. But before we get into those questions, we want to jump on to our toolkit. So Selena, introduce our toolkit. You're going to love this, Beth.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Okay. Look, I'm going to talk about it because Anna is a recipient and not like, she's not totally in it, like how I think me and Elizabeth are. Yeah. But look, this is what they said here on TikTok's little like trends start here on a device or on the web. Viewers can watch blah, 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 blah. You can read it. Download the app to get started. I love it. What I wrote was, people think that it's for kids, but it's so not, right? I mean, and I here's a joke. Not a joke. It's not a joke. I'm just saying that the world is divided into people that are on TikTok and those that are not. And the ones that are on TikTok understand some of the good plethora of resources you can find. Don't you agree, Elizabeth?
Absolutely. Like if you're a small business owner and you're not on TikTok, and I'm not saying like actually producing content, but just on there to be on like business TikTok and watching how other people do things. I've learned more from TikTok in the last 6 months than I ever did anywhere else, it feels like. I mean, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's been amazing, especially during this time of like quarantine, like, you know, stay home. I don't even know where we're at anymore. It's been really such a good tool to have.
I agreed. And so I went and searched for a TikTok to show people that may not be on TikTok. It was funny, Anna. I was like, oh, we joked about like, oh, do we call it TikTok business? I'm like, well, no, it just means like you've landed in TikTok business, like, you know. And she's like, I'm like, it's just like, oh, you've made it to the TikTok like post office, like where all it is about post office. And she's like, I don't. What are you talking about? But Elizabeth's laughing. She's like, yeah, but see, the world is divided. Anna crossed the line, like really all the way. But
I just want to say I am on TikTok now, especially since Beth showed me how you search for things, or maybe I was using it. I don't know. It's complicated to start, but I do know now that there are good business resources. But here's what I love most about TikTok is that the two women on the screen with me just send me videos all the time, and then I watch them, and I don't have to find them on my own. I love it.
Right. And just as a disclaimer, I do use it for business and for fun. It's my break, and because it's in like digestible 1-minute bites. I was never on Vine, but I guess it's very similar to like that like type of platform, right? Like I'm busy, and I know Elizabeth's probably busy, so it's like I want to consume as much as I can, but I don't want to watch a whole show. I'd like to watch 30 shows in 30 minutes, and I think that's why I'm kind of like on it. But here, wait, I'm gonna just show you something that we have. So I apologize if Vine goes a little loud, but here we go. I mean, right? This is on TikTok. I just found out where I can buy my labeling, some of my boxes, some of my twine. But I'm like, for somebody just starting out, I wouldn't know where to look. And now I can go, and I found this video. I don't know who she is, or they are, or her brand, but I know what she uses because her stuff looks cute. I don't know. Thoughts, ladies?
Yeah. So I actually like, you know, I had started this business last year about this time, and I was like super amped to do it. I just kind of dove in head first, which is how I do things. And I was going to do this big pop-up show, and I was super excited about it. And I was just pulling everything together. And then it's like the show was super successful, and I was, yay, I'm gonna take it to the next level. And then Christmas hit, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wait it out a little bit because it's Christmas now. And then 2020 hit, and I basically stopped. And so just a few months ago, I was like, you know, I need to really rethink my business, rethink my branding, rethink everything. And TikTok was the thing that was a real driving force for me, because I was seeing all these, I say young kids because I'm an old lady now, I guess, I don't know, but all these like young entrepreneurs that are just hungry for it, and they're making sales, and they're killing it, and they're figuring it out, which I love. And I'm seeing their packaging and how they're doing things. I'm like, oh, I got to step up my game. And so it was super encouraging to really want to go out there. I mean, the packaging I just purchased is actually because I saw it on someone else's TikTok. I saw their vendor. And so it's just been really such a great tool to have for just those little things, and just thinking about it a little bit different.
You know what so this is what I found about the TikTok stuff you guys have sent me. Something that I really appreciate.
The TikTok, Elizabeth. She called it the TikTok.
The TikTok thing. Maybe the TikTok trend is what I really was trying to say.
Okay.
That way I can use that, you know, the article. Anyway, so what I love about it is that it really highlights that collaboration over competition, right? People aren't keeping their secrets. They're not saying, oh, nobody else can have the same packaging. It's an environment of encouragement to encourage people to use these tips and techniques and cute ideas and, you know, different vendors and different opportunities that you might not know about otherwise. So that's what I really appreciated about it, is that collaboration collaborative environment that it really brings to the forefront. Because both of you have just said, I found my this on TikTok. I found my that on TikTok. That's why I do this way. I love that. You don't find that. You didn't used to find that.
Yeah.
It was
not at all.
Yeah, it was, everything was hush hush, secretive. No, I can't share my techniques with you.
I chased down. I was at a show in Seattle, like looking for new products, and one of my competitors in town at the time, they were going over to this brand I just purchased, this purse brand, and I ran over and said, "No, they are in my same market. Like, you cannot sell them to, or I'm not buying." Like, it was like a whole thing. I chased them off, and but I mean, that's how competitive it used to be. It was just like, and now I'd be like, "Oh, somebody says, what is this, what is this card you're carrying?" I'm like, "Oh, this is the brand. You can find them here," and da 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 da. And like, I'm always tagging those people in my posts and stuff, because again, it's about collaboration and about just like, there's enough pie for everyone. Okay, let's just work together to all get our piece.
It isn't interesting how over the last, I would even say just probably 15 years, that's been changing. That environment has been changing. And I really think that it is because of things like Facebook business pages and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and all of these new platforms where, I mean, there's definitely some negatives. You hear a lot of negatives, right? Oh, everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame or 1 second of fame or whatever it is. So, you have a lot of issues with that. But really, when you put it on the business side of things, it's been super helpful for growing that environment of encouragement, and especially for entrepreneurs. Like, large businesses, maybe not, they don't get so much out of TikTok. But for small businesses, when you're just trying to start out, like you said, Beth, you can find a lot of answers on platforms like TikTok.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I learn something every single day I'm on TikTok for my business.
Yes.
Every single time. There's not a time that I don't.
I so agree. Like, there's my sister sends me, like, on the daily, we shared it, but sometimes it's like, did you know you could do this in Google Sheets? Did you know you could do this with your Canon camera? Did you know what I mean? There's like, and it's in digestible bites that I can comprehend. Like, Anna is good. She could read a whole research book to learn something. And I'm like, I just want to read the cover. That's all I want. I just want to just read the cover, and that's all that it can get out of me. So that's how I look at TikTok. But and you know what though, and I will say this, there are actually a lot of big brands on there, and I think what's just smart for them is that they don't have to try hard to push their new product out. They literally, it just sits on TikTok, and for some whatever song they decided to put it with, it's like, okay, now you know about this, or now you do this. You know what I mean? I like, this is what Kalei said. This is my sister. But on TikTok, someone said there's enough business for everyone. It's a great collaborative space. Exactly.
Awesome.
So, well, and just watching TikTok, you see the orders that these kids are doing, or not kids, but these people are doing. And it's just like, there's just so much opportunity out there that you don't need to be afraid that something's going to be taken away from you by helping someone else.
Yes.
So true. So true. It is. You're so right though. I mean, I'm just going to go back to it. It is a big shift from how it was before. You don't ever share who your vendor was that you got a t-shirt, from for your thing. You don't ever talk about where you got your product from. You don't. And and now it's kind of like a, hey, thank you. And it's so different from back then.
So different. I love it. I love this. I love the switch in mindset. I think it's fantastic because, like you said, there's enough pie for everyone. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So there we are. TikTok, our toolkit. So if you're not on TikTok, and it's not called TikTok for Business, but you have to do search for business. Because let me tell you, part of the reason I do TikTok is because, and this is what Beth said, she said, your algorithm is all sorts of messed up, because what was showing up on my TikTok was not business stuff. It was weird people and ladies.
Do I even want to know what was showing up on her page? Okay. She showed me and I was like, what are you doing? Like, why is this on your For You page? Like, you've made some choices in your viewing pattern that are not okay.
And that was why I never went on TikTok, because I was like, you never know what's going to pop up, right? Like, I'm not going to do this crap. But then I got it changed. I added a few things that, anyway, it was as simple as figuring out how to search.
I just had like a new business brain. I'm like, I feel like me and Elizabeth need to go in as a show and be like, we're going to be your TikTok gurus. We're going to help you change your For You page.
Yes.
We're going to find the other Annas in the world that call it. Like, do you call it the TikTok? Then we're the ladies for you.
Listen, one of our listeners, Sandy, also calls it the TikTok.
Yes.
Get your business on the TikTok.
Well, and I'm telling you, every business is on TikTok. You know,
Yes.
like, I mean, there's a guy, I just was watching a TikTok, and all he does is he's a marble collector, seller or something, and he races marbles on TikTok. And I'm watching it and I'm like, what are you doing with your life right now watching marble racing videos? I'm like, I'm living the best of it. Okay. But I mean, there's really something for everyone. And it's like, whatever your little like corner of the world is, it's out there for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's just about finding your people.
It is. Find your TikTok people. That's so true. So true.
Yeah. So to close out our TikTok conversation, I'm going to pop up Kalay's thing. If you want your algorithm to show business, start searching for business videos. Watch through a bunch of those videos to create your For Your page. Fight.
Yeah. You also want to make sure you're following, and you got to double tap to like give them a like, because that helps your algorithm to get to where it needs to be.
Then the people in chicken suits go away, which I have now.
Yes.
Okay, because I was really worried of Elizabeth, what was on her page. I was waiting for us to go backstage after the show to be like, do tell.
I do some of them, Selena. I'm like, listen, you go on TikTok and you find these cool things. I go on TikTok and here's what comes up for me. All right. So we're going to move on to the actual core of our conversation, which is first impressions. Okay. So you really only get one chance to make a first impression, and that's really important when it comes to an investor or new customer. The first impression that you make is usually answering two questions: who you are and what you do. So a lot of entrepreneurs have zero problem answering the first question, who you are. They know their backstory. They know who they are. But a lot of people have a really hard time with the what do you do? And not in terms of like just telling somebody what you do. I mean, you can say, oh, I run a paper store boutique, but in saying it in such a way that is compelling and memorable and gives people a reason to want you to tell them more. It's not as common to find that. So our first question, Beth, with that big long introduction is how do you make talking about what you do memorable? What is the key to describing your business and making that first impression?
I mean, for me, I think the very first thing is you have to be passionate about it. Like if I go and I'm like, hey, I own a paper store, you should go look at it. I mean, nobody wants to be part of that, but it's like, I really treat any person that wants to find out about my business like a friend. And so I'm explaining it to them like I explain it to my best friend. Like I'm super excited about it, and I'm telling them just all the details that might matter to someone that's looking for my business, you know, or letting them know like you should be looking for my business because it's so rad, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So good. That's such a great message right there.
What kinds of things do you say to somebody when you're like, hey, you should be looking for my business? Like what's something, give me an example of something you might do in that conversation.
Well, I'm really relational. So first and foremost, it's not necessarily about me. Like I'm going to try and get to know that person just a little bit. Like just find one thing that we have in common or something that they're interested in, and then just kind of bring it back around to my business. But I think it first starts with like building that relationship, whether it be like a relationship you're going to have for 50 years or 2 minutes. You know, I think that's really important to have that connection first. And then it's like, then I'll dive into like, you know, the over like, okay, I own this paper store. I'm just trying to curate all this really cool stuff in one place so that if you're looking for like the perfect card for your best friend, you can find it there. And then if they're like intrigued, then I go a little bit deeper, you know, into how I came to be.
I love that. That's great.
Can I just say thank you, Elizabeth, for saying that? Like the whole just finding one thing to connect with them that's not about the sale. It's just about like, let's connect so we can be on this like equal playing ground of just getting to know each other. It's like, oh, you like chicken soup TikToks? So do I. Oh my gosh, right?
Right? Absolutely.
And it allows like this wall to break down of the other person where they're like, oh, okay, they want to get to know me a little bit better. You know, and they're picking up on some like personal things that normally, I don't know. I loved what you said because that is exactly how I like to operate.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead,
Oh,
Beth.
sorry. I really look at my stores like I didn't set up a store to sell paper products. That's not, I'm
Right.
like, I'm just going to sell cards and I'm going to try to sell as many as possible. Like if I was trying to do that, I would have tried to be paper source, which that's not what I'm doing. I really looked at it as like, I try to create community, and this is a vessel to create community. So it's like the cards, great. If they sell, wonderful. But really I want to start it where, like start a card writing group, you know, like a little club. I want to have like, you know, classes where you can learn about, you know, writing the perfect love letter and just different things to actually build community and build relationship. So I think that that's part of like the new wave. It's like, you're not just selling yourself, you're creating, I think when you create a brand, you're creating community. And I think that that gets lost sometimes. And so, and I think it's important more than ever to just like, you know, the things that we have in common and the things that we're passionate about to come together with those things. Cause it just makes life a lot easier, especially when it's so tough sometimes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Anna, real fast. You're creating an experience.
Absolutely. Like from start to finish, it's like when somebody comes into what, like my store, or like my booth or wherever I'm at, even on my website, I want everything to be an experience from the second they get on to the, you know, even if they don't buy anything, they get something out of it. Or if they make a purchase, when it comes to their doorstep, it's something special. It's like, it's exciting. It's more than just getting an Amazon box with something thrown in some bubble wrap, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And I do want to point out that each of those individual pieces of that experience all are first impressions that your customer is getting over and over again.
Yeah.
So having them be consistent. I mean, when you were talking about the messaging, I was going to say, yeah, this is not always just a verbal conversation. If they happen upon a Facebook post or a TikTok video or your website page or something, a review of some kind that somebody leaves, those are all first impressions. And so you want to make sure that messaging is super clear and that it's consistent across the board for your brand. And then just what you just said, when they look at your product, when they order your product, when they receive your product, those are 3 individual first impressions that every customer is going to get.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of touches.
Yeah.
A lot of touches. Yeah. Well, and I think
the difference.
Yeah. And the more intentional you can be about those touches, the better. Because even if like someone doesn't notice, so for example, on my website, every single product, I love quotes. So every single product on my website that's posted, if you go look at a product, every product has a quote that kind of goes with whatever the product is, and quotes that I love and quotes that I think are funny and things that I just references. I don't know if even one person has ever noticed that. And it's taken hours to find all those quotes. But I really feel like those little intentional touches that make it more meaningful than just some website that you go to. You know what I mean? Even if nobody notices, it's just that intentionality behind it. It just changes the conversation. It changes the vibe. It changes the perspective and all of that jazz.
Well, and it does what you were saying earlier. It creates that connection. So if I love that same quote and I've been looking for, let's say I've been looking for the perfect card for whatever occasion, and I fall upon that quote and I'm like, this is it. She totally gets me. This is the card. This is the thing. You know, and I love that you said it's not, you know, if I wanted to just sell cards, I'd be paper source, right? So it is that experience and that connection and that community that makes the difference between your brand and another brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I almost feel like, and I have to ask this though, like are you also like that with like personal things in your life? Do you go extra and do a lot of like, you know, like when you said this, you made me think of Anna's sister, Jenna, that throws these amazing dinner parties. And there's some people that like, oh, that's too much. I'll just put plates on the table and then we sit down and we eat. Right. But then she like has this gorgeous, does that transfer into your personal life? I'm just curious.
I mean, I would say absolutely. Like, I really think of myself as a memory maker. So it's like, I want to create moments to make memories. And so it doesn't always happen, you know, but like, you know, I might invite, let me just say all this is pre-COVID, but I might invite a friend over and it's like, I'm going to make like the best little cheese platter, whatever I can make, even if we're just coming over for like a simple drink. I actually, you know, run a youth group too. And so, you know, one of the things that I've done, I've been in youth ministry now for 15 years. And so one of the things I've always said in youth ministry is I send my kids handwritten cards in the mail. And that's a lost art. But that has been one of those things that has really impacted students, because it's that little extra give, you know, like a text is nice and whatever, but when somebody takes the time to write you a card and think about you and whatever, and it's this tangible thing, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just really special. Like I've had students that are like, you know, they're grown now, and they're like, I still have all your cards that you sent me when I was a kid, and that kind of thing. And it's like, I look back to when I was a kid, like I had a few teachers that, you know, they'd write me over the summer. And I mean, I cherish those letters. Like I still have them, because it's all about those little touches. And so I just think it's really important to just take a step back sometimes and be like, how can I improve the situation? What can I do to make someone else's day better? You know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I love that as the for an entrepreneurial mindset, right? So when you go into business, your mindset is not often how can I make somebody else's day better? And what you just said is that's what you're doing with all of these individual tiny little personal touches that you do on your website, in your business. It's all about making somebody else feel good, which is, I mean, that was kind of one of those aha moments for me, right? Where it's like, you don't hear that very often. That does not come out again, that's not a typical business mindset, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Anybody who's listening, tell me if I'm wrong. Do you all think that way? And I'm the drudge in this cog.
No.
Just churning the business stuff out.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're the only one. I know I've worked with a bunch of people like in my past where we've tried to like construct something at work, and like Elizabeth, I'm like, oh, we could do it like this, and it makes it that much better. And then I have the other person like, is that necessary? And I'm like, no. However, right? And I think, no, gosh. This turned out to be a way better question than I thought it was going to be. I loved where it went. And I just like how Elizabeth said, and I had to make it a quote, but she's a memory maker. And I love that. And I love Disneyland, and they have what's called a memory maker, but I never actually thought of that's exactly what I love to. I love to be a memory maker. And I'm just going to be part of the Elizabeth fan club right now. And we're like, you know, saying all the good things.
Well, yeah, because Elizabeth, you brought up a totally different mindset than what I think most people would say when you're talking about first impressions. It's more about you. And what you did is you turned it around and you made it more about them, which
Absolutely
I think is a unique perspective and something that's really impressive. So you kind of already answered our second question, but we're going to ask it anyway, because I think that there's some different nuances for question number 2.
Yeah.
So, all right, Selena, go for it.
Oh, okay. So we titled our show today First Impressions. But what is the importance of the first interaction your customer has with you or your product?
Oh, it's everything. It sets the tone for your relationship. My favorite quote is a Maya Angelou quote where she basically says, like, people are going to forget what you did, what you said, but they're never going to forget how you made them feel. And so that's been my experience in business is like, if you can make every customer feel special, heard, seen, and loved, because that's what everybody wants to be, heard, seen, and loved. I mean, it sounds crazy because, like, okay, I don't feel loved at Hallmark, you know, like that's such a weird thing to think about. Or like going to Old Navy and like, oh, I feel the love today. But I think it's really important to have those moments where it's like, you remember their name, you remember their birthday, you remember their stories, you take time to ask, and not just, how's your day today? And then, you know, go off. It's like asking for real. I just think that first interaction is just so, so important. And, you know, for me, like when I had my business years ago, I didn't have I was like kind of in random spots for a few years, but I had customers that would follow me around and they would hunt me down. Like they didn't even know where I went, but they would hunt me down to my next location because we had built those relationships. And some of those people, I'm friends with them now to this day because they came into my store and we had a moment. And so I think it's everything, you know. And again, your interaction is not just how you treat someone, but it's like when they walk into the store, what do they feel? It's like I have a playlist that I curated for my store that gives you the vibe that I want people to feel like when they walk into the store. Like I don't have a physical store right now, so I put my playlist so that if you wanted to, you can listen to my playlist while you browse, you know, my website to get more of a feel. You know, it's just little things like that. So it's really about it's everything. It's how your store smells. It's how the layout. It's what it looks like. It's what people are seeing. And again, it's like all those little details, and maybe you're not in retail, but it could be from your business card to your logo to your website to just everything that you do. Even your email signature. All of that matters when you're trying to tell your story.
You just made me get so excited. Like that you're touching all the senses, and the fact, like you said, not everybody will take the time to make a Spotify playlist and put it on their website so that there's a vibe also like when you're shopping, and it changes the mindset of when you're shopping. But that's like the extra, like, I don't know, I'm just excited. That is such an awesome first impression. Because you do. I can't even talk. I'm so excited about what you just said. I'm like, you're my people. I want to just
hit Selena.
Yeah.
I'm
like, oh my God, yes. Okay, wait. And I am gonna go back. Okay, so you know how you said touching all the senses and being excited, and I know I've mentioned it, but Disney. If the reason why I love Disney is because from the minute like I step in, it just whatever they're piping out in the air starts there. But like just the experience and like all of their people are like, have a magical day. And you're just happy to be there. And they're constantly wanting you to have this happy experience. Yeah. Okay, minus the like long lines if we don't have a fast pass. But just like hitting the senses, it's so visually pleasing. You're just so happy. And I don't know. That's, yeah. Mm-hmm. You guys, I don't know, be a freaking memory maker like Elizabeth, please.
So we had a comment pop up earlier, and I just want to throw it up here. So I love this. This is all about Beth's website, to look at the beautiful pictures when I need a break from my daily screen. So I love that somebody wants to go to your website for your business for a break. It truly says something about, how the experience that they're having. When you said seen, heard, what did you say? Seen, heard, and loved are the three things that people want to feel. So I love that. I love that there's somebody that actually before we even had that conversation, they popped that comment in. I use your website as a break in my day to look at the pictures, read the quote, to relax myself. That's amazing.
In all honesty, I do that too sometimes. I'll take a picture and I'm like, this is amazing. And this makes me have so much joy just looking at this stupid picture of a greeting card. And I just love it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you one of my secret obsessions, Elizabeth, is I have an obscene amount of cards. Note cards, greeting cards. My husband's like, how are you ever going to use them all? I'm like, does it matter?
Yeah. Let me live my life.
Thank you. Let me live my best life with all the note cards that I could possibly have. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay. Just wanted to share that. I don't know.
I just want to say, I want to validate you. I think that, it might seem excessive. And, nowadays it's you can get a greeting card for 99 cents and you get one for $8. It kind of runs the gamut. But there's nothing better than sending someone a card. There's nothing better than receiving a card. I was talking to someone, I think it might have been Anna, about this. It's when you get a card, it is special for the most part. Yeah. You know what I mean? You take it out, you read it, you smile, you stick it on your mantle, you stick it on somewhere in your house. They're displayed for maybe a month, before you might take them down. And then I'm going to save this. I just think it's such a special little snapshot in time of where you're at and where that person's at. So I say keep all the cards. Have all the note cards ready, because you never know when you're going to want to send a card to someone. And it's so nice when you have a little stockpile. So
you're so right. I keep all of my grandmother's. My grandmother is the best card writer. She writes cards out to all of her grandkids, her kids, but I have them. And it's funny how you say it's such a memory. I have cards from when I was out of high school from her, and it's interesting to see where I was and where she was. And my grandfather's not living, but sometimes she'll still sign, from grandpa and grandma, or you know what I mean? Anyway, it is. And
there's a quote, I think it might be Mark Twain, but I might be wrong. But it's basically, it says the palest ink is better than the faintest memory, or something to that extent. But it's so true, because it's I look back, I have my cards from it's a little bit, you might be you're a hoarder, but I'm not. It's all clean hoarding. It's organized. But I'll go back and I'll look at some old cards, and it's it takes me back and makes me remember things I've long forgotten. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about making those memories and taking the time to share your experience with other people in the written word.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So good.
I know, right?
I'm like just looking. Elizabeth's like, yes. I want a button actually that says like, I vote for Elizabeth. Like, that's what I want in my life. Yeah.
Right? Yes, you should institute a law. Everybody has to send a heartfelt letter to somebody on their list once.
Yes. Yeah.
That
No, just right now. Yeah. Grab it.
Grab the post office and turn out to be better people all in one fell swoop.
Yes. I would encourage anyone listening today or tomorrow or the podcast or whatever is like, take a minute today to write a card to someone. Just do it, you know, and just do it. It doesn't even really matter what you say. Just write something and send it to them. And it just really just changes. I don't know. I think it changes the dynamic of a relationship when you have that type of intimate correspondence.
It also, like, I just want to point this out. I know this is not really our topic, but it also means you took a time when you could have sent an email or sent them a text or, you know, an emoji. It means you took time to find the card, write the card, find their address, which I'm sorry, that's probably what takes the longest these days because nobody has somebody else's address. And then, you know, put a stamp on it, get it out to the mailbox. There's an effort that comes with that personal connection. And I'm going to totally 180 this backdoor conversation because what you described is what we've been talking about. First impressions as an entrepreneur, first impressions as a business, putting in that extra effort and where that leads you, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so we only have like 13 minutes left. So I'm going to ask our third and last question. Which really ties into the packaging portion. So the third question we have is that product packaging has a major influence on consumer buying decisions. So for you, Beth, what do you think are some of the key pieces of product packaging that gets lost?
Oh, so good.
Where people don't stop and think?
First and foremost, it's like, does my product or does my packaging tell my story? Does it tell the story that I want to give? Because it's like, if I have a beautiful online store, if I have amazing products, if somebody like orders those because they're excited and I throw them into an old box that's been used from Amazon and I tape it up with some, you know, packaging tape and it looks all scraggly and I ship it off to them because that's going to be cheaper than, you know, taking the time to get my own box, there's a problem there. There's a disconnect. So I really think it's about what does your packaging say? When they open that box, when they open that envelope, what are the first things they're going to see? You know, and so I had to take a step back because I realized like my packaging game when I first started was not good. You know, I didn't intend to be an online store. I was going to have a storefront, but again, 2020 happened. And so, you know, I had to, you know, I was just, when people are making orders, I'm throwing them in like, you know, the bubble envelopes that I already have and whatnot. And I realized like, this is not who I am as a brand. Like, that's not who I am. So it's like, I took the time to find like eco packaging that's recyclable and reusable. And, you know, it's like, I got stickers to match and I took the time took me forever, but I like came up with a thank you card that really spoke to who I am and how I feel about people. You know, it just says, hey, thanks, you know, thank you for supporting my small business. But it gives me an opportunity to like, I can also write a little note to people, you know, it's just all the little details. It's like, what are you taping your packages up with? You know, I was using tape and I'm like, well, I'm trying to use less plastic. So can I find paper tape? And I found paper tape. You know, it's just all those little steps of what is this? What is my packaging speaking to my customer? What story is it telling?
Okay, so before we say anything about that, we had a follow-up and you just answered both of them. So I'm going to throw the follow-up up there. How does your product define you as an entrepreneur? And what you just described is that exactly, that you use your product packaging to continue your story about who you are and what's important to you.
Yeah.
Your brand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's like, I really look at supporting local, like, you know, I would say 99.9% of the brands on my website, they're all small owned business, primarily women that have come up with their own greeting card lines or product lines that are just doing it for themselves. And it's amazing. And it's like, it has to continue. Like, it has to be like, my story needs to be, you know, congruent throughout throughout the whole process. And so,
Yeah.
or cohesive throughout. So yeah, it's just really important. Like even, so for me, it's like, okay, when people would come into my store a long time ago, I always gave a free gift, and they were just like mind blown, because they would buy, regardless of what they purchased, if it was a $2 purchase to $200, they always got a gift, and I would throw it in. I didn't be like, free gift, you know,
Yeah.
like
Right.
to get the props. But it was just a special little something. When I first started, my my business partner, when I was back in the day, they were really hesitant to like order the bags I wanted to order. I ordered the nicest bags. They were this beautiful white bag that was matte white, and it had like a grosgrain black ribbon, and the bags cost like $1 per bag to give to someone. And it was super expensive. And they were like, you're going to lose money. Like, you could just use a plastic bag. And I was like, no, you can't just use a plastic bag. Like, it has to tell your story. So it's like, it's the same now. It's like, you know, when somebody gets a package from me, they're going to get a small gift. They're going to get like, you know, I just came up with these little pins that say, you are loved, like for real.
Oh.
And so it's like, everybody gets that pin because I really believe everyone's loved and we don't hear it enough, you know? And it's not some like marketing ploy to be like, oh, shop for me because you know you're loved. And it's nothing like that. It's just those little touches to just brighten someone's day. So when someone opens a package for me, I want them to find something that like, oh my gosh, they thought about me, or oh, look at this cool thing, or you know, that kind of jazz.
I really feel like you just made the best case, especially during this holiday buying time. You just made the best case for shop small business.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Support small business and give people an opportunity to showcase what you, Beth, are actually doing with your business, where you're giving that it's a buying experience and not an accumulation of things.
Right.
I just love, I mean, what you described makes me be like, I will never buy a card from whatever grocery store I'm in ever again.
Right.
Right. You know, and I think that's the thing that people need to realize too, is that like when you're purchasing from a local small business owner, they're a subject matter expert in their product, like whatever it is. And so they're going to be able to tell you more about it. They're going to be able to, you know, give you more tips about it, give you just all that information. And so it's just, and it also, it just keeps like your local community going. You know, it's like Amazon, I get it. It's nice to have. I use it too. But I really have ramped down my like buying from Amazon this year. I've really like only bought things that I can only get on Amazon, usually from a bigger line. But even when I find something on Amazon now, I'll go check that person's website and see if I can just buy it from them direct. And maybe it costs me $1 more. Maybe I don't get 2-day free shipping. But what does it do for the community? What does it do for that family? What does it do for that business? So
I love that.
Yeah. Good. I mean,
impression you've made today on all of our
viewers.
Seriously.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's no, and I think this is why I just love like all the guests that we bring on. They just bring such a great part of just doing business. I mean, everything you talked about today, Elizabeth, is like, it applies across the board to anybody that is in business, like, you know, and I don't know. Are you a memory maker? Are you, you know what I mean?
I think, I think one of the things that I took away the most was just that when you make it about your customer and not your business, I mean, I know that sounds maybe even a little bit backwards, but all of these experiences you're doing, yes, it might cost your bottom line a little bit more. But ultimately, like you said, you've got people that have followed you from job to job. You didn't even really have a store up, but they're still like, whatever you're doing, I want to support you because I know that I'm going to have a positive experience every time I interact with you. And I think that's really impressive and something that every entrepreneur, whether you have a virtual product or a physical product, every entrepreneur should be shooting for in terms of, you know, and leaving that first, and I'm going to say just leaving that impression, not even first impression, because like we discussed, there's multiple first impressions with every single part of their journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Whew. Okay. Good job.
I know.
So let's tell us where we can find her. Tell us where we can find you.
Okay. Yes. So you can find my store at paperwhale.com. You can find me on Instagram at paperwhale_. And you can find me on Pinterest at paperwhale_, and you can find me on Facebook at paperwhale.tc. So say hi, DM me, tell me something about yourself. Let's get to know each other. And, I like to help people. I like to help find those perfect gifts, those perfect cards, like whatever you need. And, I think that you'll like my content on Instagram. It's not just pretty pictures, but, there's quotes, there's all kinds of things that might get you thinking about gift inspo for this year.
Yeah, this is like that commenter said earlier. This is, I mean, Beth's Instagram is kind of more like that daily dose of happy that you want on your feed, when you're looking for that. And also we talked her, you can see it down in the reader, her website, paperwhale.com. So go into their site, check out all the cool things that she's got on there. I know she's been working really hard revamping it over the last 6 to 8 months. So it's looking awesome.
It's amazing. I'm on it. I'm on it right now. And I'm just going to tell you, she does not mess around. There are quotes. So you need to go to the Nerdy by Nature pencil and see what she's got written down in there, because that is so fun. I'm not even going to ruin it and tell you what it is, because you're clever. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Oh, does this mean that we're kind of like done? Like, is that what this means?
That's what it means. Yes. I mean, Selena and I did branding photos yesterday. And so I'm excited to have kind of a new first impression to be putting out there. Because right now it's the ponytail.
But you're making it look cute. Like,
it kind of has these weird, I don't know. Anyway, but seriously though, in all seriousness, I do love the I'm not even going to call them, I guess I'm going to just call them tips, but just the things that you mentioned today, Beth, that go above and beyond like your standard answer for a first impression. And I love that. Oh, look. Yes.
Yeah.
Sustainable and minimal environment. So a commenter says, I also love that Beth always pays close attention that her products are sustainable and have minimal environmental impact. So true. Yes, I love it. So what that does again is just speaks to Beth and her brand and her the long story, not the short story, but the long story about who she is and what she wants for the world and her community. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us in the comments, do you feel that you have made a great first impression? Do you make a great first impression on your clients? Yes or no in the comments. Let us know what you think you do, whether or not you offer. It may not be to Beth's standard. I know mine is not. I'm sorry to say for any of my clients, I'm so sorry. I'm going to up my game. Do you think it's a good first impression?
I'm excited. I want to just kind of like be all up in Elizabeth now, because she is like my person. So I want to be even more inspired. I love that she takes that extra time to give you that memorable moment with her or her product. And I can keep on and on. See, she made a very good first impression. Yes, for me about the show, but just make sure, tell us all.
Yes. And then go visit our website and let us know what you think about this first impression. I'm curious. Maybe we'll give her see if she's got some things she can improve on.
Oh, there's lots.
There's a challenge that Anna threw out. She's like,
yeah.
So as we're closing up, let me just tell you what's happening next week. Next week, we are having kind of a special coffee chat. Next week, we're having Julie Mosier with Pink Warrior Angels of Texas. And it's going to be an evening coffee chat. So it's really going to be more like a wine
chat.
Not a wine chat. It is not a wine. It's going to be a sip and chat or something along that. I don't know, like sip and drink. But Julie is going to be coming on. She's going to be talking about pivoting to virtual events and how you take it from an in-person to a virtual event. And putting on a charitable auction, fundraising, and what the nonprofit world looks like. Nonprofits are small businesses too. So we are going to take a look at all of that, and we're going to be doing it in the evening over a glass of wine instead of a coffee cup. So join us. We'll be putting the details out in the next day or so, and we have you. Make sure you find us on Facebook, YouTube, and your favorite podcast platform, and subscribe. We really want subscribers. Like, we love that you come and listen to us, but subscribe.
Yeah.
So,
hit the button.
Any last words for our viewers before we say goodbye?
I just want to encourage anybody that's just been, wanting to do something, take that step to open a business, challenge themselves in that way, and you've been hesitant because of money, time, whatever, just do it. Just take the first step, whatever that looks like. And even if it's like a little tiny baby step, it's going to get you closer to where you want to be in the long term. So just do it.
I love it.
Great last words. Don't need anything more. Goodbye, everybody. Mic drop from Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.